Can medical personnel be detained during war? Imagine risking your life to save others, only to be detained or treated as a prisoner. That's a serious concern for medical personnel in war zones. So, can they be detained during conflict? Let's find out. Under international humanitarian law, medical personnel have special protections. They are meant to be respected and protected at all times when doing medical work. This applies to military doctors, civilian nurses, paramedics, and relief workers from groups like the Red Cross or Red Crescent. Attacking them on purpose is a war crime. They cannot be punished for providing care to the wounded, no matter which side they belong to. This rule is based on the idea that medical care must stay neutral and impartial. In international armed conflicts, the rules about detention are clearer. Medical personnel who are captured by the enemy cannot be detained just for being medical staff. They can only be retained if their medical skills are needed to treat prisoners of war for medical reasons. If kept, they must be treated like prisoners of war and given the facilities to do their job ethically. They do not lose their status as medical personnel and must be allowed to perform their duties freely. The detaining authority cannot force them to act against medical ethics or punish them for providing proper care. In non-international conflicts, like civil wars, the rules are less strict. International treaties do not explicitly protect medical personnel from being detained or captured in these situations. But customary international law, which is based on long-standing practices, still says that medical personnel assigned to medical duties must be respected and protected. This applies to both sides in a conflict. Medical personnel lose their protection if they take part in combat or act against the enemy outside their medical role. For example, if a medical worker picks up arms or fights, they can be treated as a combatant and detained or even prosecuted. But simply providing medical care to anyone, including combatants, does not mean they lose their protection. Medical ethics requiring treating all wounded persons impartially. The key difference is between detention and retention. Retention means keeping medical personnel in place to continue their work, especially for prisoners of war. Detention, in the usual sense, means imprisoning someone without allowing them to do their medical duties. International law generally prohibits the detention of medical personnel unless they are needed to provide medical care. Even then, they must be treated humanely and not punished for their work. In summary, medical personnel cannot be detained in the usual sense during international armed conflicts. They can be retained temporarily if their skills are needed for medical reasons. In non-international conflicts, the legal protections are less clear, but customary law still emphasizes respect and protection. They always retain their special status and cannot be punished for doing their medical duties. Attacking or harming them on purpose is a serious war crime. Their role is vital, and international law aims to keep them safe so they can save lives without fear.